Do you have a thread chaser and do you use them? By the way, taps and dies are not thread chasers, are not thread repairs. A thread restore kit or a thread restoration kit or a thread repair kit or a thread chaser is something much different than a tap. I shouldn't say much different. It basically just doesn't cut like a tap. Now, this is the 61-piece thread restoration kit from AKM. It has a lot of the sizes, metric and SAE. Let's take a closer look and see what we get. As we mentioned, this is the 61-piece master thread restoring kit from AKM, and it's exactly what it says it is. It's a 61-piece. We haven't counted it, by the way, but let's just call it roughly a 61-piece thread restoration kit or thread repair kit. Well, what does that mean? Well, let's talk about that. So as you can see here, we're separated by, we have thread files over here, and we'll get into that in a few moments after we cover all of this side. But let's just take a look closely at this side. And then you also see we kind of have an index card right here that may help you out, will definitely help you out with sizes and that sort of thing. But this is the layout of the thread restoring kit. Obviously, kind of like taps and dies, you have the same type of layout. This would be your somewhat of your taps. These would be somewhat of your dies, and in the fact that these are going to clean up your threads in the hole, right? And these are going to clean up your threads on your bolts or your studs, as well as even your thread files will clean up your threads on your bolts and studs as well. And in this kit, we both get SAE as well as metric. So all these gold are metric, and all of the silver and the black are going to be your SAE. Now, the cool thing about the SAE side is on the left, we have UNC or National Course. And on the right, we have the UNF, which is your National Fine. So your fine thread nuts and bolts are going to be on the right and also black. And on your left is going to be your National Course, which is, there you see your course thread, and that's going to be silver and on your left. Now, when you're dealing with metric, and this is going to be kind of a key thing, especially when we talk about what's the difference between this and tap and dies, is you have to be very careful, because when you get into things like sizes like M8 and M10, meaning metric or millimeter, 8 millimeter, and that's, by the way, that's the actual thread diameter size, not the size of the head of the bolt. So if you're taking off a 13 millimeter head, that's not an M13 bolt. That's probably going to be like an M8 bolt, maybe an M10. Anyway, when you get into metric sizes like the M8, there are 3 different sizes of M8s. There are 3 different sizes of M10s. You can see it designated right here on the card as well. So you see M8 in a 1.0, a 1.25, and a 1.5. Very important. Those are different thread sizes. So same diameter, but 1 thread per millimeter, 1.25 threads per millimeter, and 1.5 threads per millimeter. Same here, 1.0, 1.25, 1.5. Same with the M12, 3 different sizes. So whereas in the SAE, we have a national fine standard and a national coarse standard, when you get into metric, you can actually have 3 different sizes for each size, if that makes sense. It should make sense. Now, same way, obviously, with kind of your die side, or with your thread cleaning for your bolts, for the ones that look like nuts. The same thing there. You're going to have to be careful to make sure you understand what size, what thread pitch that you need. Now, you've also got helpers with this kit, such as right here, where you can actually open this up, and this will help you identify the thread sizes of a bolt, of a nut. So literally it has the little teeth in here to actually, you can measure this up against the thread pitch of the bolt and of the fastener, and be able to see which one actually lines up. Or if you're careful, you can just run one of these out. It should run in with your finger, and then go with that. And on this, we have a metric side as well as an SAE side for the thread checking. Now, also, these are easily marked on each one of these tools as well. And it's right here on kind of the base, and it says 10 by 1.5. So even if it gets out of place here, you can know it by the stamped number right there on below the hex side of this tool or of the bit. Same thing on the nuts as well. It will be stamped on one side, and there we have it, 5/8-11 UNC. So it tells us that's national course, 11 threads per inch, and 5/8 diameter. So just as we have a thread pitch on the metric, we also have a thread pitch on the SAE side as well, although not as important because we should identify whether it's national course or national fine, but on each tool it is marked. So if I pulled out this, I believe this is a 9/16, 9/16 by 18, that tells me that's a UNF or a national fine, 18 threads per inch and 9/16 diameter. Do you use a thread chaser? What brand do you use? Leave it down in the comments. Now let's talk about why you would want to use a thread restorer or a thread restoration kit versus a tap or a die. Well, thread restorers are meant to do exactly that. They're meant to restore threads, not cut new threads. Where a tap is very sharp on the edges. You have the flutes in between here. You do have some small flutes in here for cleaning out material, but it's not meant for cutting. But on a tap, those flutes and those cutters are meant for cutting new threads, especially when you look at something like an aluminum cylinder head. If you take a tap and misguide it into a hole, it's going to cut new threads. It's not going to follow the old threads if you get it off. It's going to make its own way in, and you're either going to bind it up and break it, or it's going to cut its way through with brand new threads into whatever hole you've got it in. And maybe you grab the right diameter, but maybe you grab the wrong M10 to actually cut the threads. It's going to actually cut the threads and not just clean them up. So very important that you not use a tap when doing this. Now, if you're in a pinch and you have to, well, by all means, there's been many people who have done it, I included, but again, you have to take the utmost important. Here's a tap set right here, and we've got the different size taps and different size drill bits for the taps, and a tap is made for making new holes, new threads, I'm sorry. A drill bit is made for making new holes. The tap is actually made for making threads in those holes, not for cleaning up holes. In particular, so let's take a look at, say, the exhaust side of this head. These are pretty clean. Typically, these holes either have a bolt in them or a broken off bolt in them, and once you pull them out, the threads are typically pretty good because, you know, once the studs are out of there, then again, the threads are clean. I think I've actually run a thread cleaner through these already anyway. But anyway, these are pretty clean, and that's pretty common, but still not a bad idea to run a thread restorer through there or thread repairer through there. But the ends of these heads, these are ambidextrous heads when it comes to an LS engine, right? So there's really no driver's side or passenger side because they'll work on either side. So if you've got one end toward the firewall, that end's going to get greasy, dirty, filthy, no accessories bolted to it, maybe a ground strap, something like that. But these holes typically get filled up with just dust that's blown around and oil as the main seals go, which they always do. But anyway, so you can kind of see the residual here, even though we've cleaned this up a little bit. But there's probably all of this stuff left in those threads as well. Well, this is an M10. I know it's an M10 because I've been around these a time or two. And so there you can see that one. And it just doesn't seem to get started well. And I could say, well, it's just dirty. And I could go ahead and force that, or I could use the right one. So here's a great example here of where I have an M10 1.25. It feels like it's starting on the first thread or two, but then it tightens up. It's not the dirt in there. This is actually an M1.0, so one thread per millimeter. And look at there. Now that starts in a good 3 or 4 threads and then kind of tightens up. Now I know that that is the correct one, so I can back that back out. And that's where I can grab a little lube, put it in these holes. And if I'm careful, I can grab a ratchet or a little drill or impact, make sure I get them started. Run it in, run it out, run it in. run it out, and there we have all the gunk there on those threads that was inside of that hole, but now no longer. So now I can spin that all the way in with my fingers with no problem at all, because now we've cleaned up all of those threads. Same way here. So you may want to blow this out with some compressed air, get the grooves clean if they don't come clean. And there we have it. Now we've got our cylinder head on the end, cleaned up and ready to receive bolts again. And it may not be just for, engine grime and dirt and things like that. It may be you've taken some parts to the powder coater or to the painter and you paint in all those holes, and so you got to get those out. Or you got dirt daubers that have made nests in there. Again, great for cleaning the paint or the powder coating out of those threads. And getting it ready for those coil packs or whatever else is going to bolt on those valve covers or whatever engine parts you have. And it's going to work much the same for, again, cleaning up threads on bolts. That's probably a 3/8, probably a 7/16. See if my guesstimation, I know both of those are national course. On that one, on that one. And both those get kind of crusty right there. I really can't go any further than that. That one's definitely getting crusty there. You can see by hand I can even clean this up if I want to. So it's going to cut pretty well. Not really cut, but clean pretty well. But then that, it gets really crusty. But it never hurts to go ahead and little lube. I'm just using a little WD-40. You could use blaster or cutting oil or whatever you want to. Go ahead and hold the thread restorer with some pliers. Definitely clean those up. No problem at all. Same thing here. A little crustier. Now the threads are nice and clean. So that's what a thread restore kit or a thread restoration kit will do for you, or a thread chaser will do for you, without having to cut new threads or break out your tap and die. And by the way, tearing apart an engine is a great thing to do this to all of your fasteners, the threaded holes as well as all your bolts and nuts. Now let's talk about this final little piece. And I will say that I feel like that people kind of get scared, threatened, don't really bother to find out what these are good for. Maybe don't even care to know what they're good for. But I'm telling you, these are probably a bigger lifesaver than the other side of this, because many times you're going to get these to work in situations where you can't maybe get a thread repair on there. So in a situation where you've got a kind of enclosed thread system where you can't get something on the end of it, and let's just take for granted, like right here, and by the way, we don't even have a size big enough to fit this, and I've got some damaged threads right here. Well, as long as my thread file matches, and let's get the smallest one. So there's 10 threads per inch, and that's it right there. So you can see that matches up to my threads per inch. I could break out my little tool and figure it out, but you can just, I can put this on there and I know it's not grooved correctly, right? I can flip it over here. It's not grooved correctly. It doesn't really ride on in the threads. Now here, I can't move that side to side because it's actually riding in the thread. So you use this just like a file, but it's a thread file. So it's going to ride in the grooves. And in something like this where you have your damage kind of in one location, start on your cleaned area and work into the damaged area. And just get little bites at a time at it. And by the way, that rubber piece there is made to switch around to whatever size that you need. And that's meant to protect your hand so that you can do things like this. And you can run it back and forth if you want to. And just kind of work your way into that thread, that damaged area. And you can see I'm already cleaning up. Now listen, we're not trying to get this brand new, right? We're trying to get this usable where we can get back on the road or do whatever we need to do. But this is enabling us to now have a usable thread where before we did not. I literally took a hammer to these threads and now you can see, you can still see a little damage there, but they're all straight enough where a nut will now go on there, or that will actually go into the threaded hole, one or the other. And again, if I wanted to keep cleaning it up, I could definitely do so. So there you have it. That's the thread restoration kit. Specifically, this is the AKM 61-piece set. Now, if you mess with engines at all, or teardowns at all, or removing and replacing parts on steel, aluminum, you name it, then I would highly recommend getting a thread restorer or a thread chaser kit like this. This 61-piece, 60-piece kit, whatever it is, only comes in at $60. You can buy this off Amazon for $60, and it's something you can keep forever. They really don't wear out. The only thing you're going to do is possibly lose a piece like we've kind of already done, but hopefully we'll find that 3/8 before long. But anyway, so highly recommend this kit. It is cheap for what it does, because you will find uses for it all the time, and you really should probably use it more than you do already, and you know exactly what I'm talking about if you know at all what I'm talking about. That made no sense at all. Anyway, check this out. We'll have a link in the description if you're interested, or find it on your own. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, have a great day and keep smiling.